right, we've talked about the philosophy, and now it's time to talk about how we can apply it. How we can apply it as musicians and also in the rest of our life.
So we've come up with four topics, 4 steps to go through mentally every time you're going to do this exercise. So the 4 spell out PeRLA. PE is for perfection is a direction, not a destination. The R is reframe your mistakes. L is leverage your mistakes. And then the A is appreciate growth. And the PeRLA is Spanish for pearl. And so hopefully people can remember it.
So you've picked a goal that you're trying to work on in your life, and understanding that you're never going to reach it, you can still analyze through these 4 steps how well you're doing. In order to form a new habit, you have to be able to keep it in your mind. So you can pick something like a cue of some sort that will automatically remind you of what this 4-step process is. So say you get a new watch or a new ring. Every time you see that watch or that ring, you're going to think to yourself, PeRLA, and go through the 4 steps. Once you've picked a cue to use, you may be going about your day and you say I pick a necklace and I see someone and I notice their necklace, and then it makes me stop and remember the sequence. Let's say hypothetically that I'm working on trying to be more patient in situations. When I see someone's necklace, it's going to remind me to think back to instances where I had to use patience or where my patience was tried. So I'll go through the 4-step process. So step number 1 is perfection is a direction, not a destination. So I remind myself that I am striving to become more patient, but I will never reach ultimate patience. That I'm still gonna mess up. And so I need to then, step number 2, reframe the way that I look at the situation. I messed up, I was impatient, but that's okay, I'm human. I really, really respect and admire my oldest sister. In my eyes when I was little, she was perfect. But looking back now, there were times where she was not patient. And so if Hannah, someone who I respect so much, is not patient, then it's okay for me to sometimes not be patient, as long as I work towards the direction of becoming more patient. So then you take that mistake and you figure out how you're going to leverage it to get you going in the right direction in the future. So first, it's okay to realize, okay, I screwed up, that's okay. How am I going to fix it? So short term, what am I going to do to change that instance of impatience I had? I can show more love to that person and apologize. But then long term, what am I going to do in the future to make sure that doesn't happen again? Maybe I need to take a step back from the situation when something like that arises again. Whatever you need to do, figure out the direction you want to go to become better next time. And finally, recognizing that I'm not perfect and I'm never going to be perfect, I can still look back on the rest of my life and appreciate the growth that I have had. I'm a lot more patient now than I was when I was 10 years old.
Okay, now I promise this is band related. What we're talking about here is also going to be very applicable to band. And this is one of the reasons why we love teaching band, is because this teaches you tools for life and how you can go through life in a more positive and happy and successful way. But so, for example, on this one, let's say you're just in a practice session or something like that, and you're just getting really frustrated about it. The first one is like, hopefully you have some visual cue or whatever. The first one, perfection's a direction, and you just remember that. It's not a destination. You're not going to be perfect right now. You're never going to be perfect, and that's okay. And number 2, you reframe that mistake and just remember, I'm human. It's not that I'm stupid. I'm human. Okay. Number 3, we go into the like more action-based mode on this, and we do something about it. You leverage the mistake. So if you like me, you know what? I'm messing up this big spot. You take that mess up and have that be your guide on where should I spend my practice time. You can record yourself doing a pass of the chunk, and you just pick like the most important spots, and you circle those on the score, and then you sit down, and now you've used that mistake to make yourself a better player, because now you're using your time more wisely. I'm really focusing in on the most important things. And the last one is it's super important to acknowledge growth. And at the end of the thing, you say, okay, I'm doing way better than I was on this last week. And if you've got recordings, you can go back and listen to them. And that really is a significant portion of the thing. If you don't acknowledge growth, then the whole thing just stays frustrating. So the goal here is that we're actually changing what we do and what are our habits, both in terms of musical stuff as well as how you deal with stuff in life generally.
So PeRLA, perfection is a direction. Reframe your mistakes, leverage your mistakes, and then appreciate the growth.
And we really do believe if you make a conscious effort to change your perspective, really the whole perspective of an outcome of your life can be changed for the good.
Bye.